Happy 2025, everyone, and welcome back to the Nintendo Rewind on a proper day, our Tuesday episodes. I'm Cody Christian. I'm joined by my co-host, Chris Becker, and we are rewinding and recapping last week for Nintendo because we actually have news. I don't know if you've been here for the last couple of episodes, but we've pretty much had to invent stuff to talk about because it's been that dead in terms of everything that's been going on with Nintendo. But that being said, before we dive in, Christopher, how you doing, my friend?
Great question. Glad you asked. Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks.
I sure hope 2025 is treating you better than 2024 did. That's all I can. That's literally all I can say. I can tell you, 2025 has been pretty good to me and my family. Other than the fact that we got hammered by like 10 inches of snow and a half an inch of ice overnight this past week.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't like that. How's the snow been your way? Like, not been bad, right?
Doesn't sound like you're lying at all. The snow. I think we got like 3 inches, but we didn't get ice, which ice is the worst. You got to like get out there and break the ice up.
Yeah, this is kind of like breaking the ice in conversation. Like asking how you doing, how was your last week, and then you don't lie at all about how last week was.
Yeah.
You got some new 2025 resolutions though. I think you're
just try to make it through the year.
That's your resolution. Just make it.
Yeah, just one step at a time. Yeah. What's funny is this all started, I'll tell you, I'll keep it short, and then we can move on. You don't have to respond to this. But so it started Saturday. Well, I guess it really started the day I was born. And I'm not going that far back.
I'm just like, oh my God, here we go. Half of the episode is literally just Chris giving me his life story.
Change the thumbnail. We're going in.
I gotta change it back to Jeff Goldblum, Chris Becker, like the me in front of the fireplace from when we did the interview episode.
Right. Well, this is what happens when you ask how I'm doing. So it started off right when we were doing our pre-show, and you were like, "How was your pre-show?" And well, at least so I was like, "Hold on, I'll be right back," and then I left and I came back, and so good thing I didn't tell you all this other information right before I was like, "I'll be right back."
Yep.
So
God.
So I was like, basically like, Saturday, I had a terrible Saturday, but it started on Friday because Apple TV, they really screwed me over. And by screwed me over, they had, like all you can watch, whatever it's called. What is it called? It was like that you could watch any of their shows for free. And so I have, 3 things. MDD, right? GAD, and then occasionally I'll have GAS. But then, so all right, that was a guess joke. But anyway, so then Friday into Saturday, I ended up watching the whole season 2 of the show, and then it ended poorly, and then I was like, this is terrible. You know what, I think it's time for me to retire from the podcast. And then this was on Saturday, and what is it now, Tuesday?
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
When did I tell you that was my idea?
Today, literally at 9:06, like right after you were like, I'm gonna leave, and I was like, oh okay. You're like, I'll be right back. And I was like, okay. So I'm sitting there for probably I don't know, like 7 minutes waiting for you to come back. And I think it was longer than that, but I was kind of like, I was reading Nintendo news. You come back and you're like, okay, I'm back. my head whips back, and I'm like, "Well, welcome back." And he's like, "I thought about quitting the show on Saturday." I was like, "What? Why would you do that?"
I was considering it. I talked myself out of it. But
We're still here. We're still here.
We're still here. It's 2025. Yeah. And so then I did have a snack. I had some people out there, some audience members aren't going to like this, but I had peanut butter M&Ms.
What audience members don't like peanut butter M&Ms besides those no nuts, like the people who can't have any nuts? That's what you call them, isn't it? You call them the no nuts?
That's what you call them, no nuts? Yeah, no, I was basically
they aren't allowed to have nuts.
Yeah.
They're no nuts. Yeah. You can't have them.
Sierra is not a fan of peanut butter.
That's what I'm saying. Who has a hot take on that? Sierra can go and kick rocks when it comes to this peanut butter stuff. You know what? She can give us all of her peanut butter M&Ms. It's fine. You can not like them.
I mean,
it's fine. You know nuts.
She doesn't. I don't mind that she doesn't mind, or that she doesn't like them. More for me. She can have all the soup, and I can have all the peanut butter.
Susie out here with the right takes. Reese's Pieces are better than peanut butter M&Ms, though.
Cody ate enough peanut butter for both of us. Cody, we can talk about that in a minute. Your peanut butter consumption. Oh yeah. So then I was like, you know what? That's a terrible idea. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to leave the pie. This was I talked myself out of it. Smell-o-vision this episode. We can only hope.
That's the dream. That's what we hope that port actually is.
Right, that port right there is just.
But anyway, please continue. You did.
Gamer sense. I don't even listen. I'll be honest. I've been talking this whole time. I have no idea what I'm saying. This
feels like when a friend's 4-year-old wants to tell me a story. That's why I'm like, focus, bring it back. You can do it. I believe in you.
I cannot focus. That's the problem. Also, I'm really hot. I'm about to take my hoodie off.
This is why we can't have you on cameras, because you're like busy stripping. This is like a no nipple stream. You're always shirtless.
Right? Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Topless Tuesdays.
Man, for the audio list, you know what I'm doing next week? I'm just gonna take your shirt off of your me and just have the pinkest nipples, just like sausages.
Tenderly got here at just the right time.
She really did. This stream has already started unhinged. Like, I don't understand. Yeah. But anyway, please continue.
Okay, so, I'll be honest. I got lost again. I don't know what I was saying. But so the point of the story is, I didn't have a great week, but what's the old tried and true saying? It's okay not to be okay.
Yeah, it's okay not to be okay.
Also, I took my headphone out so I can't hear you. So if you're talking to me, you might as well be talking to dirt, because I can't hear a word you're saying.
It's okay to not be okay. Scream it into the.
Take that off. You just.
What are you doing? Where are you? Anyway, you guys have heard how Chris's week was going. My week was pretty actually okay.
How's your week?
We've been watching Games Done Quick for the past few days. It started up on Sunday. For those who don't know what Games Done Quick is, it's a twice yearly event. I don't even know. Part of me wants to call it bi-yearly, but I don't feel like that's the right terminology, because it's not every other year. It's twice in 1 year. So maybe it could be bi-yearly. Who knows? But yeah, bi-yearly.
No.
But what they do is they speedrun video games 24/7 for a full week in order to support typically 2 different big charity events with like smaller charities in between the main events. This event is for Prevent Cancer. The next one, which will be later on this year, probably June, July, is for Médecins Sans Frontières, which is Doctors Without Borders. And I really like it. I like it. So the kids and I typically we camp out downstairs. We watch speed runs until our eyeballs fall out, and listen to donos getting read over the internet. So it's a really, really good time. Love Games Done Quick. Like I said, we got hammered with snow pretty badly. I knew it was going to be coming on Saturday. It got pretty pretty rough going into Sunday. And then it's just been kind of chilling at home otherwise, but you know, for the most part, like it's just been really good. Like I've been enjoying my little siesta before the kids start back with school, and before we really start hitting that grind. I take that back. I did make a couple of New Year's resolutions this year. The first one is
can you talk about them?
Yeah, I can talk about them.
Safe for work?
Yeah,
okay,
totally.
All right, sorry,
what else would I be doing?
Listen, okay, I don't know.
Oh man, but no, I am absolutely, I'm absolutely stoked to get back to doing my stream stuff after we get through with GDQ. I decided this year I wanted to make a really, really big push to try to make it to partner this year, in order to try to help make more money for my stream, but B, I really want to be able to give. They have these things called stream teams. I Am Tenderly was talking about it. She's in the live chat. She was talking about wanting to make that push this year as well. And I was like, you know what? She's right. There's no reason we shouldn't be able to do it. We have a big enough community out there. A lot of people who support us and support our content and support me directly would show up for that. But you get stream teams, and I'd like to be able to gift one to. There's another streamer who does a charity event called Save and Raid. And I'd like to give one to him so that way he can help kind of push Save and Raid a little bit harder too, because you get two of them when you become a Twitch partner. But the second thing is that I legitimately just want to have a really, really solid year with my kiddos and focusing more on getting through the school year, getting through everything that we could possibly want to do. So that way, once we get to the summer, like everything is good. The wife has big plans, and I want to make sure that we can actually make that happen. So overall, those are my two big resolutions this year, is just kind of refocus my life a little bit, because I feel like for the past, I don't know, 5-6 months, I've been doing whatever. And I want to not just do whatever. I want to create, and I want to do it big. So that's the big things. So those are my resolutions, even though you didn't make any. Your resolution is to not quit the show. I'm going to tell you what your resolution is.
That's not. I'll tell you right now. That's not my resolution. But because I didn't even think it was a thing that was going to happen. So that's why
ever. You were never going to do it.
That's right. I was never going to do it. Yeah. I mean, those sound great.
They do sound great. Thank you. Bravo to you too.
Thank you.
Pay attention down. What?
When you say bravo, do you sometimes when I say bravo, I will think of the television show, Real Housewives, and then other times when I say bravo, in my head I see Zorro. I don't know why, but he's there. All right, go on. What were you saying?
I don't have a visual memory like that. It just doesn't pop in for me. It's just, you don't even think about that. But you know what I do remember? I'll tell you what I remember. I remember to thank the people who have supported us for the past several months over on NintendoRewind.com. Before we dive into the show, we want to make sure we thank our generous supporters from there. If you'd like to directly support our content, guide what we are discussing, and get exclusive videos that won't be uploaded to our YouTube channel, you can sign up to become a member. Plus, you get some merch discounts, and every dollar spent on our merch helps us continue to produce this show. There is even a tier that only costs $1 a month, and with it you get a shout out on the show. That said, I'd like to thank our members Calamity Nolan, Sierra Christian, and Shiny Bird for all of their amazing gracious support. Now we're going to get back to the show where we get to talk about the main topic, Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Con leaks. Hang tight. Chris, we talked about it at the top of the hour, how Nintendo's not really giving us anything. And at this point, I believe there are people out there in this world that are just deciding to take news from Nintendo. It's if you're not going to give it to us, we're going to take it. And so the news that we got this past week It's more leaks. I hate to say that it's more leaks, but it is more leaks because that's all it ever is from this Nintendo Switch 2 stuff, because Nintendo refuses to actually announce anything until March, it seems like. So I don't get it. I really don't understand why Nintendo's not wanting to actually put any information out there or even like take control of the messaging and marketing, because I've said it multiple times on this show. Nintendo likes to control their image, and when they are not in control of their image, it frustrates them. But this is not like all the stuff is out there. It's so crazy that all in all, it is 2025, and we still don't know what the Nintendo Switch 2 actually is. We just have to take it with a grain of salt that these people are right. So I don't know. You said you were what did you say? You said you were team tomorrow, and I was with you.
I mean, I'm still team October, so
we'll see. All the way back in October itself.
This October. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
I didn't say the year, you know?
Yeah, not 2024, but 2025. It'll be.
Yeah. I was team today or tomorrow until today happened, and then nothing came from it, you know?
No, I feel you. Well, not nothing. It ain't not nothing that came from it, because whether Nintendo's gonna say anything about it, I will tell you, there are people over on the Chinese SNS that have something to say about it, and over on Reddit, a couple of images got posted this past week, and they were interesting. They were absolutely interesting.
Can I just say something about this?
Yeah, speak away.
Before we get into it, if you're gonna take a photo like this, what are you doing with those nails? Listen, I understand, you know, but you're not a hand model, but you know, what are we doing here? Please.
I mean, I don't disagree. There's a level of grime that are on some of those nails that's like, why your fingers look like that? but
listen, we're talking about the Joy-Con here.
We're here to talk about the Joy-Con and not the poor Chinese factory worker.
Their hand is catching strays.
Listen, leave them alone. They didn't deserve this. They gave us information and you're ridiculing them. They gave us news. But no, we had a couple of images that get posted on Reddit. Cross-posted from the Chinese SNS, like forum. Think of it like 4chan for the China. But there are a couple of things here, and this is our best look yet at what the Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Cons are going to look like. The backside's really kind of nondescript, other than the gigantic thick button that we've all assumed releases the magnets.
Yeah,
that are in it. I do want to note that this trigger seems to drape a little bit deeper and further down than the trigger on the current Nintendo Switch model of controller. But this is pretty nondescript, and it seems very legitimate, all things considered. Like, they have this printing on the back. If I pulled off one of my Joy-Cons here, I mean, you can kind of see. You're probably not going to be able to see. Hang on, let me go to this screen.
Don't zoom in too close to your nails if
I got good, nice, clean nails.
If you don't want to be ridiculed.
But you can kind of see it if I tilt it just right. You can kind of see it. It has that shiny printing on it. That kind of makes it look significantly more realistic. But
yeah, look at those soft.
You know, it's just not all that crazy. It just makes me believe this is the actual build more than anything. The thing that I really wanted to talk about a whole lot more here is there are a couple of things. Obviously, on here you've got your sync button for syncing your Joy-Con. You've got the port, and I have to believe this port is to charge it. So it'll plug into the thing and charge in this port, which is a significant upgrade from the rail system that we have on the current Nintendo Switch, because those pins tend to break really easily because of the amount of force and the amount of wiggling that they do on the sides. I'm
wiggling, yeah.
A little more optimistic with that.
Do you see the thing for the buttons, like to show you what controller you got?
What?
You know, like, you know, the 4 buttons that light up on the side of the Joy-Con.
No, I don't see that present here. I don't see that present here, and it's not present on the back side. I would almost imagine that that's probably on the front of it more than likely, but I could be wrong because these do have. I mean, you can kind of see they have these protrusions, and I would expect that the lights are probably on the front of it to denote which Joy-Con you currently have connected, whether you're player 1 through 4.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But they don't show that on here. But the SL and SR buttons are significantly larger. Again, just to reference a Joy-Con here, it sucks. It sucks so badly. But the SL and SR buttons that are on this are so tiny. And the ones that are on there are significant. I mean, they're like 4 times the size of these that are on the actual like Joy-Con itself now.
Right.
But that's not what we're here to talk about. There is a new feature on there, and Chris, why don't you take it away? Tell the people what this new feature is.
You know what? I'm glad you asked. It's something I would love to talk about. I forget what it's called. It's the
I think it's an optical
optical sensor, yeah. And
just give you starts with an O.
O, B, O, aggressive. B, it, and so this would it's basically like something you would see on the bottom of some mice, and it's like used to like move the mouse cursor around, right? And it reflects the light back up into it from the surface, whether it's whatever it is. And the you can see it right there.
I'm trying to zoom in as much as I possibly can on it to make it very large for the people, but I'm having a hard time getting there.
Oh, there it is. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's so large, but this picture is like overly sharpened and under sharpened as well. Like I just cannot figure out what's going on with this photo.
Yeah.
But
that nail just peeked.
Yes, it is. It really is. But I do have to question, like, is this an optical drive? Or an optical sensor, rather, not an optical drive. My God, we're not sticking CDs in this. Is this an optical sensor? You brought it up earlier this week when we were talking about it, comparing it to like the Legion Go. That you could take the controllers off of the Legion Go, which is like a handheld PC for those who don't know, and use it like a mouse. But all the theories aside, and all of what everybody was asking questions about. Aside, there are a couple of other things that I think kind of lend to this possibly being that. First thing is, these look like smooth glide pads from the bottom of a mouse, like this top and bottom pad on the Joy-Con itself, which probably hides the magnets that are in there as well. I believe these are like smooth glide pads to make this function like a mouse. Now, you had talked about earlier this week when we were messaging about it, that this being an optical drive pretty much got confirmed from somewhere. Where was it? Do you remember what you'd sent? Where you'd sent it?
I sent it to the Discord, and it was, I think, Nintendo's like warranty information. I think something like that.
Switch 2 Joy-Cons leak confirmed real by Nintendo warranty website. Leak seemingly confirms IR sensor, optical sensor capabilities for them, which we knew that they were going to have IR sensors, right? Like we knew that was going to happen. Switch 2 literally having every control option for gaming is an absolute game changer, though. And this comes from Aesir Malos, Nintengod on Twitter. But I mean, that's massive news if that's the case. Like, if this is going to function like a Lenovo Legion Go, that's crazy, right?
Yeah, because that would be, you could use it for, first-person shooters. Because here's the thing, I've been, I play the games on the old GeForce Now, but the problem is I only have my mouse is 2 buttons, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I got a left mouse click and a right mouse click, but it's only one button, so I can only press one at a time. So whenever I play Fortnite on the GeForce Now, I use the controller and use the left analog, and I just hold it with one hand, and then I use the left analog stick to move around and the left trigger to zoom in, and then I use the mouse to aim, and then use the clicking of the mouse to shoot. And I could do that with like the two separate Joy-Con as well.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that they're talking about here, so I went to figure out what that guy was tweeting about.
Oh, that's funky. He's
sorry.
Toasty.
But I went to go see what that guy was tweeting about with it being the on the Nintendo
Warranty
Switch
site.
warranty site. So basically on the side of that controller you can see let me go back to it the right way. Holy cow. Control page down. Whoops, wrong thing. On the wrong windows. But on this picture, which I can't zoom in on right now because I have it on the wrong screen, but there's a serial number that is posted there. Not to blow through all of our content there, my apologies. But Nintendo had tweeted with that system serial number that was printed on the Joy-Con itself. Enter your serial number below to check your system's warranty status. Systems and accessories that came with them have a 1-year warranty, blah, blah, blah. You enter the system serial number, pulls it up. Product serial number. Unfortunately, we're not able to determine the warranty status of your product, which leads us to believe that this is an authentic serial number that is available on an actual working Nintendo Switch 2 right now.
Can you like delete 854 and just type in 562 and see if it gives you the same
We
error?
could try it. Let's do it. Hang on. Let me exit out of this. Let me go to Nintendo Repair Center.
Oh.
We'll try it.
I thought you were on the website.
No, I
didn't
just had a
realize.
tweet pulled up.
Never mind then.
I'm going to it. I'm doing it. We're doing it right now. We're gonna do it right now.
We're doing it live.
There's no reason not to. Let me see if I can find it. Where is that? Start a Nintendo Switch system repair? Is it here?
Maybe.
What was the website? How do I get to this?
Can you just search that warrant? Wait, click on the image again.
It just has Nintendo check repair status. All right. Nintendo Repair Center. Check repair status. Let's pull this up. Find your repair. Maybe it was this. Repair.nintendo.com. Oh, it is. No. Yeah. Hang on. No. No, it's not. Wait a second. Check warranty status. System serial number. All right, and we're going to copy this. XAW69420800. XAW6942800. And then, do I have the rest of that? 69420, 69420, 800, 854. I see. So we'll just replace it with gets banned by Nintendo. What number would you want me to replace this with?
We need 3 numbers?
Yeah, we'll just do 146. Invalid serial number.
Okay. So
Invalid serial number.
type in the one that they have written down.
854. Invalid serial number now.
Okay,
We're doing
maybe they
investigative
updated it.
journalism right here, right now, Susie. Maybe this is a different site though. It does look a little bit different than what I was currently on. Wait, maybe it wasn't check warranty status? What was it? Yeah, it was on check warranty status.
Check the controller image.
Interesting. Okay, let me pull up that controller image. See if I can copy image address. I'm going to pop it into here. We're going to zoom in on it as tightly as I can.
Yeah, because...
Oh my gosh, that is... Enhance! Enhance! That's, what is this? Hang on. It looks like
430.
MBW 5100. That looks like MBW. 5100. Let me see. MBW. We'll try that. MBW. Chat, if you HBW 5. Okay, HBW. Let me go back to that picture again. HBW 5. This looks like 5100. Toasty is assuming TDD, but I don't. Their serial codes don't necessarily have all of that. I think that's 5100 440 1430. 5100 440. And then I said 4130. Is that what I said? 1430. Okay, we're going to try it. See what happens. Oh! Aha! So, what if we replace that 430 to 420? Let's try that. Check warranty. Nothing. So 430 works. So their serial numbers aren't consecutive numbers, looks like. 456. Try that. No, 430 is in existence, though. So their serial numbers are not consecutive numbers, which is interesting. So HBW is going to be your serial number on there, because on all Nintendo Switches they're like XKW or XAW, depending on the system. So the more you know. Holy cow! So that one is a manufactured product. We can know that because all the other things we tried that were fake did not work. Intriguing. Tweet number was a fun red herring. It truly was. It truly was. I like that. I saw the 69420. I was like, nah. But the HBW, I couldn't tell if that was MBW or HBW, but that is interesting, for sure. But I don't know. Like, I am very excited for that to be a real thing. So the Joy-Con itself is real. All of our theories about what this Joy-Con actually is and what it relates to are not. So, we've prepared a list of things that we would like to see. There are two more that I wanted to add to this list that would have mouse functionality. And that being said, Chris, I'm going to let you start off. What is your number one most wanted thing to get to come to Nintendo Switch 2 if this has mouse support?
The number one thing, well, the first one I wrote down was the first one that I thought of. I'll say before I say the first one I wrote down was WarioWare, because WarioWare, they always do stuff with whatever the weird gimmick is for the system.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have that, like WarioWare Twisted. Well, that didn't really actually, they like to have the weird things. So I think WarioWare would for sure take advantage of that. And I'm looking forward to it.
It makes complete sense. I mean, you're right. It does use the gimmicks. The one, it's not going to be my number one but I think it'd be really, really funny. I did not put this one on the list, but we had Wii Sports to demonstrate all the gimmicks of the Wiimote back in the day. I want Wii Sports, but spelled lowercase e, capital S sports, like esports, because of all the mouse controls. That's what I want. Wii Sports, but it's like just Dota clones and Valorant. No, I'm kidding. What I actually think could really work are a lot of those SNES games that had the SNES mouse control. Like, the number one thing that I would like to see get ported to NSO is Mario Paint. I mean, God forbid they give us Mario Paint 2. That kind of went out the window when Mario Maker came out, but Mario Paint getting an actual like proper port to a console with the capability of actually being able to use it like a traditional point and click mouse like what we had back in the day would be freaking amazing. It would be cool to be able to revisit that in a less expensive way. Because even to be able to do that nowadays, I mean, you have to have a Super Nintendo mouse and the cartridge. Like, there's no way to play it now, and it's a relic of the past that I believe a lot of people haven't had the chance to mess around with, and it's so much more than just a MS Paint clone.
Yeah. Plus they got the fly swatting game, You know,
Mhm.
that would be fun.
What I can say the E word. What does the E word stand for? Now, is it electronic sports? Is it what it is? Wii Sport emulation. Oh no, my apologies. I'll say emulation all day, but there's no good way to emulate it. Let me just say it that way. I want an accurate, at least a mostly accurate, true to the original experience emulation situation.
Yeah, and then they would have. I could even see them bringing us the original
Mhm.
Mario Paint on there if they had that thing. I'm trying to think of how many games used the SNES mouse.
That is a good question, actually. Let me do a quick Google search. I mean, we're doing investigative journalism right now. How many games utilized
Mouse, right?
the Super Nintendo mouse? Let's Google it.
A lot more than I thought.
Oh my God, there is a lot. Acme Animal Factory. I'm not going to read all these. I'm going to hit some of the ones that I think are ones that we may know here in the US.
There you go.
J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings Volume 1. Lamborghini American Challenge, which I did not realize. Mario Paint, of course.
Super Game Boy. What the?
Super Picross, which was Mario no Picross. It was released in Japan only, but you can play it. You can play it nowadays.
Yeah.
They did all of the edutainment games, the Mario's early years, Fun with Letters, Fun with Numbers, and Preschool Fun, that are awful, by the way. I do not recommend those to anybody.
Oh, the Mario early games, yeah.
Yeah.
They kind of reminded me, I think they also, not with the mouse, but
Sim
there was, like,
Ant?
the Sesame Street games.
So many people have told me Sim Ant was great, and I didn't realize it had mouse support also.
Do you have a mouse?
A Super Nintendo mouse?
SNES mouse, yeah.
I don't. I want one. I almost bought a complete set because I do have a Super Nintendo, but I almost bought the complete set to be able to have the SNES mouse and the game. It was complete in box for like $100 a couple of years ago. I found it, and I was like, that's still a little expensive for me.
Wolfenstein 3D. But yeah, then they Civilization, and then there was a game. I like the way it looks, but I don't know how good it is, which was Snoopy Concert for SNES.
It's like kind of like closer to like what, like the Wii Music?
It was like a side-scrolling platformer.
Yeah, it's a point and click.
Yeah, it was a point and click platformer puzzle game, but it was made by Nintendo R&D 1.
Ooh. No, it looks, the singular screenshot they have on the site, it looks true to the Peanuts comics for sure.
Yeah, yeah. It almost reminds me of like gotta have mouse support, that's true. Yeah, I could see them adding mouse support for Civ 7 on GeForce Net, or not GeForce Net.
God. What's your number 2 pick though? What would you want? What would you want to get brought over to Nintendo Switch if it had mouse support?
If it had mouse support, it would probably be DS games on NSO, I believe, is my second choice.
I think DS games on NSO is a good choice. It's interesting because, like, for the most part, legitimately, like, if they really wanted to do it, they could make the DS games handheld only, which would just ramp it up even more, and then just give us a flip grip. Because they could do both the screens, top and bottom, with the width of that screen anyway.
Yeah.
Just
but
make
if they let us play, like, Elite Beat Agents, you know, and they could have the cursor on there, and then you just move it around.
I'd be down for that.
And all covers.
I wrote down Splatoon 4 for my number 2 pick. As far as what I'd like to have, making its way over to Nintendo Switch 2. Obviously, we're going to have Splatoon 4. I think it's without a question we're going to have that. That's not even a shot in the dark. That is a guaranteed.
That will have that game.
Yeah,
and then that'll be. They always put all sorts of different control options.
You've got gyro, you've got stick, but I would really like it with the mouse support. I think that honestly, I think that would be the best thing that they could possibly do for that specific game because I cannot stand the gyro because I'm not good at it. My brain is not functioned to go, oh, I need to tilt my controller and also pull the trigger, because when I do that, I'm pulling the trigger and my hands are moving the controller while I'm doing it. This is extremely frustrating.
Yeah, and sometimes I have like the controller over my head. Like I got the ADHD, I'm like all over the place. So every time I pick the controller up, I gotta like reset the sensor, and I forget to do that. So whenever I play the gyro, it just camera's just all over the place. Not a fan of that.
No, not at all. Not at all. I was pulling up my other list because the other thing was the edutainment Mario games for PC. Is what I'd want. So everything from Mario's Missing, Mario Teaches Typing, Mario's Time Machine, Mario's Early Years, even though those are bad, we agreed. It's funny, when I did that Google search just then, as Luigi's Mansion 2001 is a list of Super Mario edutainment games. Thank you, Google AI. But I think those games, finding a new lease on life and maybe not being relics of the past that no one ever gets the chance to experience, because like legitimately, those games were the first actual appearance of Charles Martinet as Mario. Like, it wasn't Super Mario 64, which is what everybody remembers. I believe it was Mario's Time Machine that was on there. That was his first actual like appearance voicing Mario. So I mean, I would dig that. I would dig that so much if they would do that.
Yeah, that would be nice if they were to do it.
What's your number 3?
One that I couldn't believe you didn't do it. You didn't put it on here. I guess it's adjacent to Mario, not Mario Golf. It's adjacent to Mario Paint, which would be Mario Maker 3. Just putting that on there and just using it to like paint the level with blocks and different items that you want on there. That would probably be it. That
would make that situation so much better to play. That was one of the reasons I didn't really make a whole lot of levels of Mario Maker 2, is because I didn't have the touchscreen just sitting in front of me, the capacitive touchscreen. Because there is something to be said about, like, I like the smooth and glossy nature that you can achieve without it having to be capacitive touch in the same way that the Wii U tablet was. But I like the smooth and glossy nature of the Switch's screen. But there was just something more tangible to utilizing the Wii U tablet to build levels in, and I did so much more level building in Mario Maker 1 than I did in Mario Maker 2 because of it. If they gave me a mouse to where I could be precise with my placement, and also I don't have to rely on a controller to be able to put everything down if I don't want to play handheld, like, I'd be 100% about it. I'm with you. Couple honorable mentions here. Marvel Rivals, we'd like to see make its way over here. It just has I like controlling Marvel Rivals a lot more with keyboard and mouse than I do with with just a controller. And then Minecraft 2 is what I also put on here. Is not recently teased this last week. He's working on cryptically said he's working on a successor. And he might as well name it Minecraft 2 in a tweet earlier this week. But legitimately, like, I hate playing Minecraft on a console. It's best played on a PC. And I haven't played Minecraft in ages. But my kids love Minecraft, and they play a ton on console. And they always ask me, they'll hand me the controller or the console, and I'll be like, I don't want to play this. This is garbage. This is so bad. Don't make me play it like this.
It's the way to play it, you know?
For them, it truly is the way to play it.
Yeah. And then I guess the honorable mention for me would be Nintendogs, because we can't have an episode without me bringing up a new Nintendogs.
I mean, it's 2025. We're still talking about Nintendogs. I think it's happening. I think it's your year. I legit think Nintendogs is coming, or at least something like it is coming.
As long as the Switch has some sort of microphone built into the system itself, I think Nintendogs is a surefire bet.
Nintendogs would be a good choice. Nintendogs would be a good choice. I wouldn't disagree. I noticed you didn't read it, how you had it written on here, though. How you had it written in the document was petting good boys in Nintendogs is what you want to do. You want to pet the good boys.
I want to pet the good boys.
I don't know. It is exciting. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I did kind of blast through a couple of these pictures when I was alt-tabbing through everything, trying to find stuff. This is the other thing that I thought was important. CentroLeaks, if you haven't really been following them on Twitter, they're kind of like the Pokemon Leak Twitter account to be following. Some of their information's a little blown out of proportion, but this picture here is a gathered image of all of the leaked images over the past, what would you say, like 2 weeks? And some of it dating back a month ago, because we did cover the 3D printed or the parts of these shells. And as a matter of fact, you can kind of see on the front of that fabricated Joy-Con, you can see those 4 dots that you were asking about, Chris, earlier in the episode.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But across the top here, we did get our first real confirmed look, or in terms of what we assume is real and confirmed, of the actual motherboard for the Nintendo Switch. And a lot of the stuff on here is that a lot of the components have been populated already. The image we had before, it was missing the cartridge slot, which is present on the new image here in this upper left hand one. This big metal rectangle that's down here at the bottom of the motherboard is there, and you can kind of see the CPU that they're working with inside of this console. You can see some of the I/O that's going out of the motherboard as well. They've got some close-ups, some close-up imagery here, but basically what this confirms is that this old leak was accurate. This old leak for the motherboard that was in here, because there was a lot of theorization that it wasn't, but ourselves, Digital Foundry, a whole bunch of other people had said, like, that's a lot of work to put into making a fake motherboard just to post a fake image on the internet. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Oh man. Here's the thing, and then I saw people got upset because it's like 8 nanometers instead of 5, so that would drastically, like the battery's not going to be able to be as good as people wanted it based on just that. I have no idea about any of that, but listen, this is what the people tell me.
This is what the people tell you, dude. But yeah, no, like I think as far as that goes, like I'm not super worried about what Nintendo's got going on when it comes to the power of their hardware. It's already been pretty much confirmed from a patent this past week that Nintendo has filed. Well, they filed it months ago, but it just became public knowledge now that NVIDIA 4K DLSS AI upscaling is going to be a thing that is in here. Which the good news is that with that being said, they can minimize the amount of resources that they're dedicating inside of these cartridges, or even digitally, to being able to be able to be displayed on screen. Like, they don't have to export, these 4K texture packs into their games, because the actual motherboard itself can upgrade everything to 4K. So they end up not having to stress so much of that data loss, and letting that chip do a whole lot more of the work. Netist says upscaling looks like disgusting poo-poo in virtually all cases. I don't disagree with you. I really legitimately don't, because I've seen a lot of upscaling. Because you're right, most of the time it does look like poo-poo. But I think we're kind of getting to a point where upscaling's not looking awful with this specific kind of hardware and these specific processes. And more importantly, I don't know that they're still going to be getting beyond 1080p in most cases here. So, maybe companies should pay people to optimize the game. Also, do not disagree. Do not disagree. Now, the other image that's on here that is interesting is the image of the dock, right? This dock is so round.
Oh, yeah. So round.
Putting that round thing in your face? Are you getting sprung?
Yeah, I've been sprung.
I've been sprung all day. All day. You should go see a doctor about that. No,
I've been sprung all day. Yeah.
Now, one thing that's conspicuously absent from the back of this dock is the cover. There's clearly going to be a cover that snaps onto here, very much like the docks for the Nintendo Switch OLED models, where the back snaps on. You can kind of see the clips where they go. You get a little bit more detail on this writing here. Some people are saying that this is going to be I think a 60 watt instead of a 50 watt, or maybe it's flip vice versa for the power supply that's going into this machine. If it is down, which I think it might actually be down, I think it might be going to the 50 watt instead of the 60 watt that we currently have. If it is down, that means you are going to have slower charge times because you're going to have less wattage going into that. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see. I do like how round that dock is, and it does look like it has a little bit smaller footprint in terms of what it's going to look like on your shelf too. And then we get a couple more images that we haven't really talked about on here. The first image on here is the C button. Chris, what's that C button do?
Ooh, yeah. Nobody seems to know. That's, it mirrors it to the TV. Remember, so we can.
That's what we're hoping.
Both.
I want to be able to have just the connection to the dock and let the dock process any of my TV imagery while giving me access to a tablet mode.
Yeah, so why would it be the C button? Is it just copy?
No, it's so you can see the image on TV too.
Okay.
It's a short way to spell C. Haven't you been texting since the 90s? It's C. I'll see you later.
Oh, that's
with an
true.
8.
Yeah. See you later.
But no, no one really knows what that button does. I don't know why it exists, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it is going to be something that has something to do with connection to the dock in some way. But obviously, we're gonna have to wait and see. Get it? And then they have some imagery of the kickstand being kicked up, along with the side profile view of the Nintendo Switch itself. I'm not the biggest fan of that kickstand because it has a whole lot of hollow space and it seems thin. I really like the kickstand on the newer OLED models. As far as that goes, it's a full bar all the way across. You don't have to worry about any kind of failure points on it. That one also looks to be. It has these gigantic points here and here on it that really kind of tell me there might be springs in there. I don't know. I don't like the look of that kickstand. But I do like the details of having the Joy-Cons sink into it. And you can kind of see it does look like it has the chip to go into the Joy-Con to give it the charge to. So it has that charging port. All lightning cables, what it kind of reminds me of in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know. Any big takeaways from that, Chris, before we move on to our final topic of the night?
Any big takeaways from the Joy-Con?
Some of these side profile views, the dock, the C button. I do notice that C button's only present on the right Joy-Con too.
Yep, and then the share button's only on the left.
Mm-hmm.
So, I almost feel like, depending on what the button is, if you're sharing the Joy, you're going to want one of them over the other.
Maybe it stands for middle click because it's a mouse.
Pardon?
Maybe it's a middle click because it's a mouse. You've got your two main mouse buttons essentially. If you turn that Joy-Con on the side with the trigger and the bumper, and then you've got a C button for a middle click.
Okay.
You follow?
Yeah. I'm following you. I
don't know. It stands for click. We're theorizing here. We're doing true investigative journalism.
Yeah. We listen and we
don't judge me. Don't judge me.
And we judge.
We judge everyone else, but not me. Next page here. Also, to kind of go along with the Joy-Con crap, this image got tweeted. A lot of people were like, hey, what is that about? These look like new Joy-Cons. And what it is it's Genki. Another accessory maker for Nintendo Switch. They've made cases. They've made the Genki capture cards. They've made the little portable docks that you can plug in that also have pass-through charging, so that way you can plug in your Switch and display it to a TV if you're on the go and you don't want to carry around the gigantic dock. They've made a lot of different things. They are at CES this past week, and people people at the show got to see some of this dummy mock-up of a Nintendo Switch 2 that they had on the show floor, and that they've got kind of locked behind glass and closed doors right now. But the thing that was really brought up was the way that these controllers were. I've talked a lot. I'm just going to kind of let Chris talk about this, because you had a lot to say during the pre-show about that.
Yeah, because they were the mock-ups that they had made, I guess, based on either the measurements or the products they received to make those accessories. And it would make sense if the magnets connect to each other, because it looks like the top where we saw those magnets, they're connected, and then if they lock in down at the bottom from another magnet, but then the way they're sitting, it would lock them in place, and then you could release them from them as well with the push of the release. That would make sense. Completely unrelated, but did you see, since we started, I posted a video of them showing the Joy-Con coming on and off of the system?
I did not show that. I can pull it up. Hang on.
Or no, I mean, did you see it?
No, I didn't see it. I'm pulling it up for the people. I'm gonna turn the sound on.
Well, I think it just
Wait a second.
It's just noise from the
that's a
convention
pig?
floor.
No, that guy was talking though. I didn't like it. Hang on one second. Let me back this up to the beginning of that video though. It's interesting. It's got this. Is that a case that they're showing off on it?
Yeah, they're showing off the case on it, and so that's why that's like that. But then they also show the Joy-Con connecting.
So when they pull that trigger, it pushes the top of the Joy-Con out, so the magnets can release a lot easier instead of you having to actually physically pry it off.
Yeah.
Interesting.
How do you like the idea of them being black and then blue on the inside?
I love that. I legitimately love that. I like the orange. I've seen rumors that there's an orange one that is out there. Maybe they're orange and blue at the same time.
That right there is just them making, because they were just making multiple versions, but they got all that stuff, and it just looks
that bigger. Comes off so cleanly.
Yeah, and effortlessly. Plus, it looks like I know Mel and I talked, because she once wanted a Steam Deck, but she wanted a light version because she doesn't like how thick it is. It's so
I don't
thick.
blame Mel. I also hate that.
But this, it just looks like it's wider, but not any thicker. It's yeah.
Speaking of Mel says she wants to press both share buttons. Just both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
They're all share buttons. Hello there, Developer Masked. Welcome in. But I don't know. There's a part of me that's very much not convinced just yet on whether or not the colorways are gonna be just the dual color, like that blue and orange, or if it's just gonna be only orange. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we get some solid colors. I like the black though. I really do like the black with the accented colors. But I was also the maniac who ordered the ordered the only gray Nintendo Switch at launch anyway. So
yeah, we were wondering who you were.
It was I. One final note here that comes from Numerama. My children are going nuts upstairs. I don't know if you heard that. One final note here that comes from Numerama. Genki is claiming that they have access to real Nintendo Switch 2 console. And additionally, the company claims it's launching this April. So they're saying that Genki is claiming that the console itself is launching this April for the Nintendo Switch 2. The site sourcing the accessory makers also claims that you can buy a Nintendo Switch 2 on the black market, quote, as long as you put some money down. Which, I mean, I'm not surprised by that statement. I don't know why anybody would be.
Just put a little money down, okay?
Yeah, as long as you put a little money down. You can
give it a little gander.
You can have yourself a Nintendo Switch too. Isn't that usually how buying things works? Netist, I think you're onto something novel and new that people haven't really thought about. Clearly, Numerama hasn't. Nor has the black market. Who knows? I don't know what that exactly translates to, other than them just trying to say if you put a lot of money down is what they really translate to. Like, if you put a lot of money down, you can get yourself a Nintendo Switch too. And I guarantee that's the truth. But if you put a lot of money down, you can also buy yourself a human on there if you really wanted to. Like, I don't recommend the black market to anybody.
All right, yeah, that's true.
It's a bad place. It's a
great point. Yeah.
You know what isn't a bad place?
What? Please tell me.
The Nintendo Rewind Fast Forward.
Yeah.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Let's see if the intro plays. It's not. What was that? It farted. This is essentially what it did. Chris, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, I would love to. Yee's memoir, The Oath of... Great question. I have no idea. The Felghana. It came out today. It came out a little later than it was going to. It's $29.99. This is like a remake of. I think it was. I can't remember if it was PSP or PS1. It was one of those, but it's like a remake, or not a It's kind of like a remake slash. You know. You can see the difference. It's just kind of up the quality a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's $29.99, so it's not a full game. It kind of almost reminds me. Remember how like Square Enix like remade Star Ocean?
Absolutely, I love Star Ocean though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this kind of reminds me of like that. But it is more in line with like some of those like PSP remakes that they've done in the past, or remasters, I guess.
It kind of reminds me of like Musashi Brave Fencer in a lot of ways too. Brave Fencer, Musashi, Tales of Symphonia, kind of in that genre as far as that goes. If you haven't played an Ys game, I mean that's pretty much what they are.
Yeah.
But it was, you said it, so when we were originally loading up the show, this was showing is not available for the longest time, and I was like, I put this on the dock because it said it was available for $29.99. What happened? And you said they took it down for reasons for a while there?
They were just saying there was an issue with it, like where like, because I think it was on the store, and then when people were buying it, it wasn't downloading the game properly, so they took it down and then re-uploaded it and put it back up, and so now it is good to go.
Well, it's up. $29.99 comes from Xseed, marvelous publisher. They don't have the developer on this list actually this go around, which is interesting. So they've removed it from the website again.
What? Is it just that game?
Maybe we'll find out. Let's go to the next one. What else is coming out?
You know what? Great question. I thought you'd never ask. Body Byteland Overclocked is coming out on the 10th of January for $19.99. This is an indie game. I played a bit of it on like Steam. I think it was like a Steam Next Fest, or they gave me a code to play it. Well, yeah, this comes out. Was that Friday?
Yeah,
the 10th. Yeah,
I've got all the DLCs included with it.
Yeah. So. Yada 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 yada.
No, they don't have the developer on this list either. They must have removed it from their website since we last did a Nintendo Fast Forward.
Yeah, that was last week, right? Or no, 2
weeks? No, it was 2 weeks ago. No, hold on. Did we have all we talked about was Airborne Grannies 2 weeks ago because it was the only game that came out literally the week of Christmas.
Yeah, so maybe it was the week before Christmas.
I'm all in all, I'm very, very surprised by this game, just in general. Like, by Nintendo taking off the developers again. Like, just why? Just tell the people who made the game too. Like, everybody doesn't want to abide by your typical rules.
Right. Yeah.
Just because you don't want to tell the people who developed your games doesn't mean other people don't want to tell who developed theirs.
I gotta imagine the reason why they had that
I'm moving on. Freedom Wars Remastered.
All right, Freedom Wars Remastered is a PlayStation Vita game. We are great multitaskers, by the way. The this is a Vita game that back in the day, Nintendo went ahead, gave Capcom a bunch of money, and they were like, we're going to go ahead and give you Monster Hunter and not the PlayStation Vita. And they were like, great, we're going to go ahead and release a system attachment called what was it called? The 3DS. What screenshot is that?
It's a baby. It's just a baby with $1 million on it. That's how much babies cost on that black market we were just talking about. $1 million. If you put down a little money,
just put down a little money.
You too can buy this baby.
This is what they were talking about, Genki. But this was back in the era when Sony was trying their best to get their own like Monster Hunter like game on the Vita, and they wanted it to take off because they were like, if we can get a Monster Hunter like to take off, we will win Japan. That's what they thought, and that's what this is. And so it comes out on the 10th. Sony published this back in the day, but they gave the developer the rights to it, which I believe is Skip. Scroll down and let's see.
They are going to tell us that. Oh, it does have the developer, Bandai Namco of America.
You know what? Maybe it's like a thing where nope, that's not true.
It's both Bandai, publisher and developer. Maybe Bandai were like, yeah, we want to tell people that we did it.
Freedom Wars was they were made by it was made by Dimps, not Skip, Dimps, and Dimps ended up, I mean, they did a lot of games, including like Sonic Advance on the GBA. Remember that game? But then they also did like Street Fighter 4, right? And so they've been around for a while. They also did Sonic the Hedgehog episode Sonic 4 episode 1. So maybe not everything is great by them, but yeah,
they didn't do episode 2. Who did episode 2?
Nobody. It never came out.
No, episode 2 came out. They did episode 1 and episode 2, but it was supposed to be a 4-episode thing, wasn't it?
That's a great question.
I think it was originally going to be a 4-episode series, and they didn't do it. Not TV series. It was video games titled Episodes 1, Episode 2, and then
Dimps made episode 2 as well.
Okay.
It is Half-Life 3 all over again.
They just can't count past 2. This is how it works.
Yep.
You know, when I put this game on the list, I thought it was like a Persona-like. I didn't realize it was a Monster Hunter-like.
Yes, no, it is a Monster Hunter-like. And yeah, you're like fighting those like robots, and you like attach your strings and stuff to them and do all sorts of weird, wild stuff.
What is the number above your heads? Legitimately, I ask that. Oh, wait, it's your criminal number?
Yeah, I think it's like...
That baby's a criminal?
Yeah, the 1 millionth.
The millionth criminal?
Millionth.
Wow. Holy cow.
So when they were born, they were the millionth. Or I think it might be like, you have that's how many years you have to serve. And then the more Monster Hunter, Freedom Wars, monster fighting that you do, that number keeps going down. So like you start with a certain number, and that's how many kills you need to give them.
That has been... Mel says episode 1 shouldn't have even come out back on Sonic again.
Yeah.
I just saw it over on the YouTube. Oh my gosh. This is amazing. How much did we even tell the people how much that game was? I mean, the website did, but for the audio listeners.
I mean, for the audio listeners, we'll let them know that it is $39.99. Yeah, I mean, it's Freedom Wars. If you've never played it, or if you have played it and you want to play it again, it is out on everything. I don't know how it performs on the Switch yet. I haven't seen any videos of it. I just have seen videos of it being played on Steam, and it seemed to run well there.
Yep, comes to Switch Friday.
Now, before we finish this show real quick,
Mm-hmm.
let me ask you a question.
Ask
How do
away.
you feel about Miracle Whip?
I like Miracle Whip. Didn't we discuss this during the episode where you were asking me questions about me and I had to do the condiment ranking?
Listen, you're right. You know what? Who has time? I can't create a lore.
There's lore. There is lore. It's there.
I can't create the Cody lore. I'm busy over here.
It's fine. It's fine. You don't know me. I understand. You don't pay attention to the things I say. And I'm kidding. Actually, like legitimately, I think Chris Becker might be the best friend you could ever make. This man remembers everything, and asks such good questions about how are you doing. Hope you and the family are doing good. And then like very specific, like good, honest, like caring questions. I think Chris Becker is the best friend you could possibly have. I'm just gonna shout it out right here on the show right now. You know, little bromance went a long way. We're getting asked in the live chat, what launch titles would we want to see for the Nintendo Switch 2? And I think that's kind of a good wrap up on main topic tonight and everything. We need to do like a full episode of this because you floated that idea a couple of times yourself.
Right.
Oh, that's the baby's kill count also, Susie says. I just saw that in the chat. It was 1 million. That baby's killed 1 million people. I ranked so much stuff wrong he can't remember them all. Mel, get out of here. Why are you over there? You're over there on the YouTube chat. Can't even come over here to the Twitch chat and tell me that to my face. but
Susie's right. You're just sweet talking me because you don't want me to quit the podcast.
No, I don't get paid enough to sweet talk you just to keep you from quitting the podcast. I can keep going without you, but I don't want to. I don't want to go on without you. Oh man. But no, like if I were picking, before we try to make like actual like real predictions of what we think Nintendo would do, let's just say
You're saying what Nintendo launch title or just
Nintendo Switch 2 launch title. What are 3 things you would like to see within the first 6 months of the Switch being out?
First 6 months. The first 6 months, I would say I want ARMS 2, I want Nintendogs, and I want 3D Mario.
I agree with all of those takes. You know, there's rumors that there's another 2D Mario that has like movie features in it from the Super Mario Bros. Movie that's being rumored that's coming out.
Oh yeah, but I heard that's going to be coming out like the same year as the movie.
That'd be next year, 2026, wouldn't it? I think it's 2026, and that's supposed to be coming out. Could be wrong.
I think 2027 is Mario or Sonic 4, right? Or is that 2028? Anyway,
do Animal Crossing or we Riot?
Here's the problem. Like, I believe right the Mario Kart team is the same as the Animal Crossing team, so they're gonna make Animal Crossing after Mario Kart is coming out first. Obviously, I think Mario Kart. I don't think it's gonna be day one, but I think it will be in the first 6 months.
I want a new Smash Bros with a 3-year long season pass. That's what I want. I just want 3 years of being hyped about a new character coming to Smash. I would really like, because you mentioned Mario Kart, and there's heavy rumors that there's a new Mario Kart game coming out. Everyone thinks the game with 9 in the title is going to be a new Mario Kart. I'd like to see Mario Kart launch.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that rumor.
I love Mario Kart, but at the same time, I would really like to get, because I mean, at that point, I would imagine we see Metroid Prime 4 come to Switch 2 as well. I think it's going to be a bridge title.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think it's going to be only on the Nintendo Switch 1. I think it's going to be a bridge title, and I don't think they're going to tell people who bought the Switch 1 version of that game to play it on the Switch 2. I think they're going to do a dual release. If they do anything crazy like that. But and then even more so, it's only been 2 years at that point since the last 3D Zelda. A year since the last 2D Zelda. So realistically, Mario is the right choice. Like a 3D Mario. It will have been 9 years since we've had another 3D Mario.
Right, because I think wasn't it like the main team worked on, was it the Bowser's
Bowser's
Inside
Fury.
Fury, yeah.
Bowser's Inside Fury. It's his inner Fury.
Yeah, it's inside. Okay, use your inside voice.
He needed to. Poor Bowser Jr. all tore up about his dad being a bad goop monster man. Even coming to the enemy to come help him.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't even like really count that one as a full-fledged experience. It is built within the 3D World engine that they brought over to the Nintendo Switch. But it very much is not like a normal traditional Mario experience. It's not that it's bad by any means. But I do like it less than I like 3D World and Odyssey. It's probably my least favorite 3D Mario on the Nintendo Switch.
What is?
Bowser's Fury.
Well, I mean, Sunshine's on there.
That's like my. I really like Sunshine. I love Sunshine.
I'm just doing my best to get kicked off
God,
the podcast.
No, it's not gonna happen. He's the best friend you could possibly have, but you know.
That's what you have to put up with.
Man, Developer Masks really wants Galaxy 3 to come, and I don't believe it's coming. Yeah. I don't believe Galaxy will ever get revisited. It's been too many years.
I was gonna type. I guess you're not getting the Switch too, but then I get distracted.
Oh no. You know what I would really want? Really actually want, and then we'll wrap up this show. I want for a 2D Mario-like adventure, but with the Wario brothers. And I've wanted a 2D Wario and Waluigi team up for a long time, like for a really long time. There's no reason he just needs to be a sports cameo or a trophy in Smash. Like, Waluigi deserves to be a playable character in something more than Smash and Mario Kart, or not even Smash. My apologies, sports and Mario Kart titles. But I would really like to have like a Wario Land, Wario World, Super Wario Bros kind of experience.
Okay. Now hear me out.
I'm hearing.
What if we had a multiplayer game
Mm-hmm.
that was just like Phasmophobia, but like all the Mario characters going through like a Luigi's Mansion?
I will not stand for Sunshine 8. Thank you, Mel. Now hold on.
Basement.
You want Waluigi's Mansion?
Phasmophobia.
Uh-huh.
But with all the Mario characters, like Mario, Luigi, Peach.
We
Toad.
basically have that with Scarescraper.
I don't want that. I want it to be first person.
But then why even have the Mario people be in it?
Because that way it can be family friendly.
I'm good at more than just tennis. I'm multifaceted. Waluigi doesn't deserve anything. What is these two, like, I don't know, Susie and Mel are like the extreme opposites of each other.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Susie's a big Waluigi fan. Mel hates Waluigi and hates the fact that my son Dashel really wants him in the next Smash Brothers. He wanted him in this one. He wants him in that other. He was like, they can even keep him and just have him his attacks be sports based. So he's doing all the different sports, like jumping around, you know.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Like one of the best,
it's like Wii Fit Trainer, but Waluigi.
One of the best Game Boy games of all time, Bo Jackson. It was a double pack of baseball and football because he played both, you know.
Mel, over on the YouTube channel, Susie says over here on the Twitch channel that if you show your face in here in this Twitch chat with that attitude, Susie will fight you. So just to let you know, over on the YouTube, if you show up here on the Twitch, you're gonna get beat up by Susie.
No, please.
Oh man. But I don't know, like that's kind of what I want, and maybe like
this is gonna be the last time Mel watches the show live.
Maybe what I'd actually like to have is, you know how they've done Mario and Luigi? Just give me Mario and Luigi and Wario and Waluigi lovership. That's what I
Oh,
want.
yeah.
Mario and Luigi and Wario and Waluigi lovership. It'd be great. It'd be great. You can catch all of our past episodes in video form over at youtube.com/the Nintendo Rewind. Visit our site for links to all of our social media pages at nintendorewind.com and consider supporting the show through memberships on our site where you get bonus content only available on there. I want to thank you guys so freaking much for watching. Remember, you can catch us live every week, Tuesdays at 9:30 right here on Twitch and on YouTube. Chris, where can they find you, friend?
They can find me tomorrow at the hospital, but anywhere else they can find me. Super Nintendo on pretty much everything. Where can they find you?
Oh, you can go to my website, nerdwireplays.com, and see everything that I've got going on as well. Thank you guys so freaking much for showing up here on a weekly basis. We're getting back into our swing of things being on a Tuesday because we don't have any big holidays that we're trying to avoid everything. But I'm excited to get back on our regular thing. This felt like an actual Nintendo Rewind episode rather than us just like mindlessly meandering across tier lists for condiments and telling people opinions about stuff or doing a super fight. So, which those episodes are fun, but I don't know. Come back, see us again next week. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. Remember, please be kind and rewind right here at Nintendo Rewind.